Sheesh, talk about a flair for the dramatic, eh? Corey Perry, Evan Rodrigues, these guys going after each other after the whistle. Jonah Gadjevich getting involved physically. Connor Brown shoving guys around. Evander Kane. What a game that was. You know, I wasn't initially going to make a video for Florida Edmonton Game 3. I wasn't like dead set on making a commentary about it, because if you haven't noticed, a lot of our videos about this series haven't really been getting too hot. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, is it really worth it for us to make videos about the Oilers and the Panthers and the Stanley Cup Finals series, etc., etc.? But that is out the window here. My hesitation into making a video commentary, making a statement about this game and this series was put on hold after we saw that. Because in Game 3 of the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals, the Florida Panthers totally wiped the floor with the Edmonton Oilers. 6-1 Florida Panther victory, and the Oilers just get totally outproduced, outplayed, outscored, outclassed. You can debate that. You can say, all right, well, who's the tough guy now when Evan Rodrigues is avoiding a fight with Corey Perry? There are a number of angles that you can take in regards to the physicality of this game number 3. But I think what a lot of Oilers fans were kind of scared about, and I'm not talking about the referees. I'm not talking about, oh, the referees not calling things for Florida and getting in the way of Edmonton and giving the Panthers these opportunities to get more offense. I'm not necessarily talking about that. Yes, there is an argument to be made about Alexander Barkov supposedly getting a penalty, but that not getting called, and then the puck bouncing off of the referee, only to be picked up and Sam Reinhart scores. Those angles are going to exist, but I think the biggest thing that Oilers fans were afraid of heading into this Game 3 was the Panthers just totally taking control. Because in Game 1, yes, the Panthers took control, but the Oilers fought back, and they inevitably won in overtime. In Game number 2, you saw the Edmonton Oilers actually start out with the lead here, but then in the second and third, Florida started to control some more. Late game heroics by Corey Perry tied the game, but then the Panthers inevitably won in double overtime. I think a lot of the worry for Oilers fans heading into this Game 3 was, hey, a lot of the top scorers on Florida, Barkov, Reinhart, Tkachuk, they haven't really been doing much in terms of the goals and the points and the assists and whatnot. And we know this Panthers team has it in them to just turn it on like that. And you can say that in this game, they did that even though those top guys didn't necessarily get all the points. Instead, starting things out 1 minute in, it's the same guy, the same one predictable guy that it's always been, Brad Marchand. Getting things going a minute in, Stuart Skinner is totally out of his crease, loses sight of the puck on the scramble, Marchand able to bury it by. Carter Verhaeghe makes it 2-0 on the power play at the end of the first period. Corey Perry gives the Oilers life with a power play goal himself to open things up in the second, assisted by Bouchard and Ekholm. But then the goals just kept on coming afterwards. Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, Aaron Ekblad, Evan Rodrigues, power play goals being given out like candy. Because of all the misconducts, all of the names getting tossed out of the game, this was not really a game that we could learn anything from, unfortunately. Third period shenanigans, okay, yeah, that's fine. There were so many penalties handed out in the third period. Just going out there and reading it out. Stuart Skinner, delay of game. Matthias Janmark, roughing. Marchand, hooking. Frederick, cross-checking. Frederick, roughing. AJ Greer, roughing. Sam Bennett, roughing. Darnell Nurse, roughing. Darnell Nurse, fighting. Jonah Gadjevich, fighting. Greer, misconduct. Bennett, misconduct. Gadjevich, misconduct. Nurse, misconduct. Frederick, misconduct. Ekholm, misconduct. Evander Kane, slashing. Evander Kane, misconduct. Wallman, unsportsmanlike. Wallman, roughing. Ekblad, roughing. Wallman, roughing. Count how many penalties that was. I can't. And in the second period, you know, there was only one penalty taken in the second period. Darnell Nurse cross-checking against Anton Lundell. So ultimately, this was a game where by the time the third period came and Stuart Skinner got the pull at the very beginning because, Aaron Ekblad scored to make it 5-1, there was absolutely no lessons that we can take from this game other than the fact that Florida, they still have that gear. And they were hard on McDavid and Draisaitl all night long. Connor McDavid getting tossed down to the ice like he was anybody else but Connor McDavid from Aaron Ekblad's big body check. McDavid left the gosh darn game because of that. Sure, he came back quickly short after, but still, that's a big impact there from one first overall pick to another. Leon Draisaitl, not able to capitalize on the offensive opportunities that he had. Vasily Podkolzin had himself a terrible turnover, which led to the Sam Bennett breakaway goal. A playoff-leading, 14th goal on the playoffs for Sam Bennett? How is that guy all of a sudden becoming a top-tier scorer? He is definitely going to get a huge pay raise in the offseason now, isn't he? He's got almost 3 times the goals that Sam Reinhart does. The Florida Panthers just totally took control of this series, and it's gotten to a point here where, after what we had seen in Game 2, I think there was already this sort of underlying worry that the Panthers do have what it takes to just totally take control and win against Edmonton with relative ease. Like last year, they had this control, they had this lead, they were up 3-0, but then the Oilers made it interesting. They won 3 in a row, and then Game 7 was a 2-1 win. Okay, that was really tight. You're not seeing games like these anymore. 6-1 Florida? Even in the last one, 5-4 Florida? Like, say what you want about Sergei Bobrovsky, say what you want about him, but Stuart Skinner is right up in there also producing some terrible numbers and not getting the saves that he needs in order to get these victories. Yeah, okay, Stu Skinner won game number 1 for Edmonton in the overtime showcase. He had a .900 save percentage in that one. Okay, great. But an 881 in game number 2, and then here in game 3, Stu Skinner has a 783 save percentage? Sure, the Oilers only scored 1 goal themselves, so it's not like they could have helped him out in that respect. But at some point, you have to understand, this Florida decor, this Florida structure, this Florida system, it goads the Oilers, it takes advantage of the physicality that the Oilers can bring, it puts the Oilers in a rough spot. This game was getting feisty, we saw so many roughings and game misconducts. Ultimately, it's going to boil down to whether or not the Oilers can keep their composure in game number 4. If they can't, if they just allow the Panthers to have their way like they had in game 3, then I'm sorry. I don't see another 3-game comeback here from Edmonton like we had seen last year. And now, we're going to go out there and potentially see the Florida Panthers win twice in a row over the same team. Imagine the demons that will be living in the minds of Oilers fans and fans of this team after seeing the decade of darkness and then watching as the Renaissance man and Connor McDavid was supposed to come over here and change the franchise. It takes him so long to get to the finals, they go down 3-0, they almost come back, they end up losing anyway, and then 1 year later he's back in it, but now the Oilers can't tango. That's what it looks like right now. Momentum is in the Panthers' favor by far. If the Oilers have a huge bounce back and they win game number 4, then okay, I'll shut up and we'll make another video about it. But for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Edmonton Oilers totally blowing it in this game number 3 against the Florida Panthers? What are your thoughts on the game as a whole? What are your thoughts on what we had learned? Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.